Hello and welcome to the National Football Stadium at Windsor Park. We're here in the Northern Ireland Football League headquarters for the official launch of this season's fixtures. My name is Michael Clarke and I'm joined by Stephen Looney today to take a look at who your team faces on opening day. Looking at how the Premiership lines up first, and Ballinamallard have Glentoran at home on opening day. Crusaders, who finished second last season, go to Ballymena United. Cliftonville are at home against Ards. Dungannon Swifts face Coleraine. Linfield, the champions, have Carrick Rangers, and Warrenpoint Town welcome Glenavon down to Milltown. Stephen Looney, your thoughts immediately on how it's shaped up on opening day?
Well, it doesn't take long coming round, Michael, does it at all? And the two standout fixtures for me, obviously you always look for where the champions are, and they're travelling to Taylor's Avenue to take on Carrick Rangers. Linfield will be happy with that. For me, the big fixture of the day is Ballymena United against Crusaders. It was also the opening day fixture last year and it produced the biggest result last year. Ballymena lost 6-0 at Seaview, but went on to get sweet revenge in the later stages of the league when Crusaders lost there in the third last game of the season and effectively lost the title there. So it's very exciting, Michael. We're looking forward to it as well. There's another fixture there that actually is replicated from last year as well. Cliftonville against Ards. It was Ards against Cliftonville last year and it finished 2-2 down there. So very interesting fixtures. Ballinamallard against Glentoran, colourful as well. Dungannon, Coleraine as well. Two exciting teams for me. Want to see how the Coleraine, the young fellas at Coleraine, develop in their second big year as such. So and then we've got the newcomers Warrenpoint against Glenavon. Should be another really colourful, exciting game. Matty Tipton likes to play expansive football and we know Guy Hamilton does as well. So it's a bumper fixture, Michael. It
certainly is. In terms of the champions Linfield starting off the new campaign, starting off their title defence at home, how big is that for them?
It's massive, and it'll be interesting to see what business they continue to do over the summer. Already they've made three big signings: Andrew Mitchell, Jordan Stewart, of course Robbie Garrett. So they've got experience in already. They're going to continue to try and bolster their squad. I think, to be honest with you, Michael, looking at it the first sort of 3 weeks, Linfield have what you would have to say a favourable sort of fixture list in August, but it gets particularly sticky for them in September, as we'll talk about. Probably there's a couple of derby fixtures and big games coming up.
For Crusaders, brilliant start last season against Ballymena. Ultimately Ballymena got their revenge and it's the game that swung the title race in the end. Does that play into Stephen Baxter's mind, his players' mind, as they enter this fixture this season?
Well, he'll say no, and Ballymena will say no as well. But funny, I was talking to Tony Kane of Ballymena this week doing European previews, and he remembered the fixture last year. We were talking about maybe kind of a European, if you get a dodgy European game, can it set you off badly for the league? And he said, well, listen, last year we got off the worst possible start, 6-0 loss to Crusaders, and we went on and had a very good season under David Jeffries. So, no, I think you can look too much into it. I mean, we're going to be glad to get the games underway and get the season underway. And then there'll be stories every week, of course.
Now, something Irish League fans always look forward to is those Boxing Day clashes. Looking at how this Boxing Day sets up, what matches stand out to you in terms of the order of the fixtures?
Well, funny, even if you'll indulge me, Michael, I was looking at some of the standard fixtures even before Boxing Day. As we say, we've got the opening day fixtures, which you've covered very well there. I'm looking ahead to some of the derbies. Saturday, August the 26th, Cliftonville against Crusaders. September the 2nd, Crusaders against Linfield. September the 9th, Linfield against Glentoran, the big two at the National Stadium at Windsor Park. And then September the 30th, Ballymena United against Coleraine, two up-and-coming teams who really fancy themselves this season. So there's four really massive derby games coming up before we even get to Boxing Day. And you know, the thing about the Christmas fixtures this year is I think we have 4 games in 14 days, which is something that the clubs wanted. You know, we like the Christmas and the Boxing Day and the New Year fixtures, so it's going to be fairly congested, and as ever there's going to be thrills and spills.
One thing obviously it'll be different for Glenavon fans come Boxing Day is they don't have their familiar Mid-Ulster opponents in Portadown. This year it'll be Warrenpoint that they face.
Well, that's a blow, because that Mid-Ulster derby is so exciting for both Portadown and Glenavon. It's not just about the finances, but obviously, you know, clubs need the finances that the fans bring in through the turnstiles. Yes, it is a blow to Glenavon. I think Gary's a very pragmatic manager. You know, he'll just want 3 points from whoever he's playing against, and he knows that Warrenpoint will not be any pushover this season at all, coming up from the championship.
Just looking at how Boxing Day goes, of course, these fixtures available now across the Northern Ireland Football League social media and online via the website as well. But in case you haven't seen them, Ards at home against Carrick Rangers, Ballina welcome Dungannon Swifts, Coleraine are at home against Ballymena United, Crusaders invite Clifton Villa Cross Town, Glenavon, as we've said, play Warrenpoint Town, that one taking place at Mornview, and Glentoran will be enjoying home advantage against Linfield at the Oval. We'll talk a little bit more about the fixtures in a minute, but something else very important about this season is wonderful football that will be enjoyed across the Football League. You'll Sport, the producers of this, and you can see what we're talking about now. We've seen some of the features there of the new ball. What is it when it comes to footballs? Do the players talk about it? How important is the ball to the season, to the teams involved?
Well, first of all, I think it's great to see that Sport and the Northern Ireland Football League are maintaining and sustaining their partnership, because Sport have been very proactive in the local market, and it's great to see them getting involved once again. Players do talk about the footballs. I mean, they talk about their boots as well. It's a lot about the colour, and the, the design of the ball very often, kind of, if it's done right, a football is a football, but I've had a kick about with some of the balls, and Sport provide very good products, so shouldn't be any complaints this season at all.
So that's how the Premiership shapes up now. On to the Championship. Ballyclare Comrades, they start their season at home against Loughgall. Institute travel to Dergview. Larne take on Portadown, of course, previously of the Premiership. Big game there. Limavady United host Harlan the Wolf Welders. Lurgan Celtic welcome Newry City. And PSNI host Knock Breda. Great set of fixtures there again. Let's start with Portadown. The challenge, of course, trying to get back up into the Premiership. How hard will that be?
It'll be very difficult, because it's a very competitive division, the Championship. I do think they're well placed, I have to say. Portadown, they've got a good manager in Al Curry who knows that division, knows how to get out of it. He's already been busy in the market, bolstering his squad. It's an interesting fixture, that travelling to Inver Park to take on Larne there. And a couple of other ones that I'm quite interested in as well, Michael, are Limavady United against Harlan Wolf Welders and Lurgan Celtic against Newry City. Limavady got up, obviously, as champions, and Newry City are welcome back. I suppose they're climbing further and further up. So, again, colourful fixtures there as well. Even PSNI against Knock Breda is very colourful, PSNI on the up and up. So, plenty to play for. I do think Portadown are rightly favourites to get back up at the first time of asking, but they'll not get it their own way on the first day, that's for sure.
Having seen how well Limavady played towards the tail end of last season, obviously winning the Intermediate Cup as well, can they carry that form into this season, surprise a few teams?
Well, it's going to be difficult now. I mean, they do have momentum and confidence, and well done, Paul Owens, for getting the team up there. As I say, I have to say, this is a division like it's full of surprises last year. I mean, nobody really realised that PSNI were going to do so well last year, maybe even Ballyclare Comrades as well. So there is scope for a team, if they get a good start, to carry momentum on as the season goes on. So, but it's going to be very tough. A lot of good teams in that division. It
often is a league of uncertainty in terms of just how closely knit the fixtures are, and I guess if you fast forward ahead and look at some of the upcoming games, you can see how very quickly momentum can be gained or lost. Well, I've picked out a couple that I like myself now, Michael, if you'll indulge me there. Now, on the 26th of August, we've got Institute against Ballyclare Comrades, two teams that kind of hit the crossbar last season, played some very enterprising football. The week after that, we've got Portadown against Institute, which I think is going to be a cracker. And then further on down, I was kind of trying to pick out like a derby, and the one that I've got is, it's all the way in the 21st of October, Portadown against Loughgall, a mid-Ulster cracker, so it is. Lots to look forward to there, and there'll be plenty of colour in the Championship. There certainly will be. Now we can take a look at how things are in the Premier Intermediate League. And the fixtures on opening day are as follows. Anna United take on Tobermore United. Armagh City host Port Stewart. Banbridge Town go to Moyola Park. Donegal Celtic face Dundela. Newington take on Lisburn Distillery. And Queen's University play host to Sport and Leisure Swifts. Port Stewart, the side that came up, they're facing a team that went the other direction. That'll be a really interesting fixture to kick things off. It'll be a bit of a litmus test for both clubs to see how they're going to cope in this division now. Port Stewart, a team that are on the rise, obviously. Armagh, a bit unlucky, fell for Armagh last season a little bit there, but they've got home advantage there. I kind of suspect Armagh will do okay there, even though Port Stewart maybe have the confidence behind them. Elsewhere, I mean, it's amazing to look at some of the fixtures in that division. Donegal Celtic against Dundela.
You know, Newington against Lisburn Distillery, you know, and there's Sport and Leisure Swifts, a plucky little team from the west of the city here in Belfast, against Queen's Grads, of course. So plenty of colour there again. Anna United against Tobermoor, everything to play for in the PAL.
Again, a very, very difficult league to call.
Very difficult indeed. And unfortunately, what you've got to be aware of as well is that some of the clubs maybe come down because it's not maybe necessarily things that go on the field of play, it's things that happen off the field of play. So but I mean, it's a very, very competitive division. You know, I know some of the teams well there. I've played against one or two in my youth as well, and it's no place for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. For
Armagh City, trying to get home park back to feeling a bit like a fortress, that has to be priority number one.
Must do, yes. I mean, they'll not want to hang about there. They'll want to get back up into the championship, obviously, Armagh. But again, we've talked about it. Look at the competition there that's in that division. There's no real easy team that I can see there. And Armagh City, they've got to be up there, some of the favourites, I think. But whether they can, whether that setback last season is going to rock the club and affect their confidence, we have to wait and see.
Only 50 days now until the league kicks off again. Incredible to think after what feels like a long summer, a long wait. It's not long in actually coming back around. Across all the divisions, what is it, apart from football just returning locally here in Northern Ireland, what is it you're most looking forward to?
Passion, I have to say. That's the thing that really comes through to me in local football. You know, you're close to the action, you kind of probably know the players, you know the managers, you know the rivalries, you know the background of some of the, you know, the clashes that have gone on in previous weeks, months and seasons. So I mean, I really love it. There's no messing about. The guys are full on sincere about what they're going to do when they go out onto that pitch, whether it's the National Park, whether it's Seaview, whether it's Mornview, wherever. They will give it their all, and it's just every week throws up something new. You know, I really love the local leagues, and I just can't wait for it to get started again. I'm looking forward to it so much, and as I say, passion, that's what I really look forward to.
Thank you very much for watching this. As I say, just 50 days until the season gets underway on the 12th of August. I hope you're going to get out and support your team and get to your local club for their big opening day fixture. Let us know what you think about the matches on Facebook, on Twitter. Make sure you follow the Northern Ireland Football League for more updates as we get closer to kick-off.